Contracting versus full-time job. Now, this is one of those things that everybody who has moved to Canada at a certain point in their life come across this question. Okay, should I now start contracting, moving over from a full-time role? We'll talk a little bit about this and the challenges associated with all the process that goes about it. I will just basically share my personal experience and you take it for what it is. It is just my personal journey as to how I look at it. This may not be the absolute truth because we all lead our own journey in life, and we come across our own experiences which kind of shape up our the things that happen around us. Anyway, having said that, I can relate. I can tell you, I started contracting about 11 years ago, and it was by an opportunity I got. I was here in Toronto. I packed up my stuff and went to Edmonton, and that was my first contract where I started working for the city of Edmonton. Over the years, I've been in and out of into FTE roles and into contracting and back into contracting. So I can fairly give you a good assessment of where things stand. So first thing first, dilemma, first thing people think is that there's a lot of money to be made in contracting. And yes, because you're accountable to pay for your own taxes, so your HST, GST payment has to be made by yourself. The government lets you determine what that is going to be. So you get a big lump sum amount of money in your bank account, and the first time when it hits your bank account, and if you're not used to it, you can go into a spending splurge. And that is one of the big no-nos, and my advice to you that be very careful with the money. The second thing right out of the get-go that you have to start planning is that you should have at least 3 months of runway available at any given point in time. So if you get out of a contract, if you're laid off for any reason, because that's also the other thing, that in a contract, the only duration of your contract is two weeks. That's it. Because mostly in the contracts, either they need to give you a notice of 2 weeks, or you can give a notice of 2 weeks, and that's the end of it. So that does not happen in an FTE role though. So if proper processes are being followed, and as they are here in Canada, they first have to give you a notice, then they have to put you on a training plan, and then there are multiple other steps. So you can see it coming like 2 or 3 or 4 months down the road that something is going to happen, and you can prepare for it. But in the case of contracting, one fine morning you will land up in your office and you will find out, you know what, thank you so much, the company has changed the plan, so 2 weeks notice, or they will actually even let you go the 2 weeks, and they'll just give you the money for the 2 weeks, and you're out of there. So you have to live with that uncertainty. If that uncertainty is something which you cannot deal with, then probably contracting is not the right thing for you. It also depends as to what time of the year your contract comes to an end. Like for example, in my case, yesterday was my last day of my contract that just ended, and now we are in November. So though you never know, things can come along, you can get another contract, but normally in Canada, what I've seen, more personal experiences, like I said again, can vary for people. November, December, January is kind of slower in the market, and then of course in the summer, right at the start of the summer, it also gets a bit slower in the contracting market. So so the other thing in contracting, if you're considering versus the full-time role, is the fact that in an FTE role, excuse me, you get to get your vacations, you have your CPP, you have some insurance from the company that's covered, and they can actually guidance and mentorship is there to take you through your career path. In contracting, you are a one-man army, so you're like the 82nd Airborne, I like to call it. You're thrown behind enemy lines, and now you have to navigate your way back. The day that you hit the contract, start working, you have to be walking on water, so to speak. Like you are paid for what you know. The company has not hired you to train you. They've hired you to deliver on stuff that you already know. So you have to be really dead sure of which contract that you're getting into. In a full-time role, normally, in my opinion, you get hired for your potential. Of course, you're hired for your capability and what you've delivered in the past, but maybe the company is looking at growing you in a certain role, and they're looking towards you to build on that potential. So they're hiring you for your potential. In a contract, you're hired for what you know today, what you can deliver today. The moment that you join the company, what will you deliver? So don't misunderstand that with the training part. Like for example, when you join a company, there are certain compliances that you need to do, there are certain trainings that you need to do, and then there are certain processes that you have to understand regarding that company. that you will always have to do with contracting as well. But the, like, if learning a tool, for example, or learning, for example, as a business analyst, if you're going in into a company, you're not going to be learning about business analysis, what it is and how it is done. You have to know what you're doing. You need to be able to control a room, and you need to be able to put together requirements, elicit requirements, and then deliver them to the client and get their sign off, and whatever the process, just to take a BA as an example. So these are the things, just at a high level, I wanted to differentiate, because we tend to lose sight, and then that contracting is really lucrative, let me do this. And but be prepared and be very good at what one thing that you do, because when you're hired as a contractor, you're supposed to deliver that one thing, and you're supposed to do it right. That's all what it is. There are a lot of other things that I can also talk about, but I like to keep my videos short, just to cater for the shorter attention span. If there are people who need any more detailed comments regarding this, put that into the comment, and I can do another video on this. If you want a detailed one-on-one to discuss on your particular situation, you might have a question, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than glad to walk you through the process, because every case is slightly unique in their own way. So with that being said, think about it, and do watch other videos on YouTube about contracting versus full-time. There's a whole financial, there's another advice, one last advice that I will give you. If you are able to manage your finances properly, then consider contracting. And if you should have an understanding of how taxes work. In FTE role, the salary is already cut from the source, and then you get a certain amount of money. Of course, you should know how to manage your money. That's a separate thing, budgeting and all of that stuff. But with contracting, it goes one step ahead. You need to know what can I get back from the government, what rebates I can get. All of that higher level of understanding of taxation should be there as well. So I hope this video was useful to you, and hopefully based on your comments, we will decide if we need to do another video on this or not. Thank you.